Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you 10 tips for getting a flat stomach, tummy, or abdominal area. Now, I want to start off by saying that I know I did a video on this before, but that was done a long time ago. So I figured that I would update my tips and share with you a little bit more information that I've gained over time. I also want to note that I'm not an expert on this. I'm not saying that this is going to give you like the perfect body or give you the best abs in the world, but I'm just sharing what has worked for me and what I've kind of been incorporating into my lifestyle. So let's get started. What was that? Let's do this. Alright, so my first tip is to drink water. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like,
oh my god, I already know this. It's just one of these girls on YouTube talking about nonsense, telling me something I already know.
but drink water, and not only like throughout the day. You should make sure that you are drinking water regularly. But the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, drink a tall glass of water. And you should be drinking at least like 20 to 30 ounces of water as soon as you wake up. This helps get that metabolism going, your digestive system going, and it helps prevent water retention. So that's the first thing I do in the morning. And it's also really good if you squeeze like a little bit of lemon juice in there. That helps cleanse out your system as well. Okay, second tip, make sure that you have a lot of fiber in your diet. Well, not a lot. You don't want to like overload fiber. But you should have at least, I would say, 20 to 25 grams of fiber in your diet. What are some good sources of fiber? Well, fruits and vegetables. That's a really good source, obviously. What is that noise? Really? Beans are also a good source of fiber. Apples, that's a really good source of fiber, and I like to make sure that I have those on hand all the time. Quest bars, those have a substantial amount of fiber in them. There's this thing called psyllium husks, and it's just like something that helps thicken up your shakes or smoothies, and you can just put a little bit in there. It has a great amount of fiber. Also, flax seeds, those help with digestion, and chia seeds. Chia seeds are really cool. You can just throw them into like water or a smoothie, and it kind of, they start out as these seeds and they kind of gel up and create almost like a gel or pudding. So if you want, you can soak them with like oats and water, and it gives you like a nice thick consistency. Chia seeds not only lower cholesterol, but they promote absorption of fat within your belly. My next tip is to eat a small snack in the afternoon. So this is like 3 or 4 between lunch and dinner. So like nuts or protein or something that has some fiber in it, like fresh fruit or vegetables. And this will help stabilize your blood sugars. So you want to eat something that will help spike your insulin levels. My next tip is to reduce the sodium that you consume. So reduce your sodium intake. I'm not saying that sodium is bad for you. A lot of people have this mindset where they think that like all sodium is bad, but it's not. Just everything in moderation. You don't want to have an overly saturated diet with sodium, like eating at fast food places all the time. It causes water retention, and it will ultimately bloat you up in the midsection. And we don't want that, right? We want to keep it right, keep it tight. So my next tip is pretty general, but people say that abs are made in the kitchen, and this is actually pretty accurate. You can work out and you can do all the cardio, you can do all the sit-ups that you want, but if you aren't eating right, then you also have that layer of fat over your abs. So diet is very key. Make sure that you're getting a lot of whole grains, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, good carbs and lean proteins, healthy fats. Make sure that you have a nice, stable, and consistent diet. And I know this because there was a moment in time where I was working out a lot, but my diet wasn't exactly on point. I was still indulging quite often. I was still eating fast food, and I wasn't noticing anything in my abdominal area. Once I fixed my diet and got everything right as far as what I was consuming, I noticed that my waist got smaller and the abs started to poke out more. Kind of in the same region, eating smaller meals throughout the day. In the morning, high carb, high protein. For lunch, you still want to get those carbs and proteins in, but in a smaller amount. And then, like for a snack, I would have, you know, nuts or fruit or something like an apple. And for dinner, lower the carbs and still keep high protein, but essentially you just want to decrease throughout the day as far as like your carbs. Also, not eating too late, because when you eat too late or you eat the bulk of your carbs at the end of the day, essentially it just sits there, and like later on in the day you're watching TV on the couch or whatever, or you're laying down, you're going to sleep, and your body isn't as active as it is in the morning. So if you consume most of your carbs in the morning, you help burn it off throughout the day. The next tip is more along the exercise region. Incorporating an abdominal exercise routine that focuses on the core, working the obliques also, and this is like the side area of your abs, and that's important because that's what helps essentially shape your waistline, and it'll shrink it. So I'm actually doing a series on the abdominal region, so you can check those out, but I'm really going to focus on shrinking the waistline and getting those abs to poke out. The next tip is to try not to consume too many dairy products. I personally don't. I opt for, like, as far as milk, almond milk. I would much rather have almond milk than dairy milk like skim milk or whatever. And the unsweetened vanilla almond milk is my favorite. Reducing the amount of dairy that I have in my diet has also helped flatten the stomach. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I was consuming more dairy, like, I stopped eating meat and I was kind of looking for other places to get my proteins from. So I was consuming more dairy at that point, but I noticed that it would really bloat me up, and especially in the midsection. So once I cut that out, there was a big difference as far as, you know, the bloating and tightening up the abs. The next tip is to try to avoid stress, or try to stop any stress from occurring. I know that can be difficult, obviously, but there's a natural chemical called cortisol that promotes fat storage in your midsection. So stress essentially causes that, and that's, I mean, it's obviously something you can't really control. Sometimes you just get so overwhelmed, but there are supplements that you can take for that, and I will leave the name of it down below, or like where you can get it from. I like to do yoga or meditate to help calm me down. Yoga's not only good for flexibility, or, you know, like I like to incorporate it sometimes after I've worked out so much and I beat my body that my muscles are so sore. Yoga is also good internally. I think it helps calm you down and just gives you, you know, like a peaceful mindset. Now, my final tip is to try to limit the amount of alcohol that you drink. For those of you who aren't old enough to drink alcohol, then obviously you don't have anything to worry about. But those of you who are, drinking too much alcohol can really take its toll on your abdominal area, and it can bloat you up. I don't know if it's just me, but after I drink the next day, my skin gets really puffy, and just from all the water retention or dehydration, it just puffs me up, and I get bloated everywhere, on my stomach, my face, everywhere. So that's my final tip. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully took something from this. Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, so please don't take this as like Dr. Lynsee here. I'm just sharing with you some stuff that's worked for me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. What am I doing? Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks. What was that? Ugh. Not only with, but okay. Incorporating, it's your, I can't talk. Please help with your